Hi, Capstone students. Here's the video that I promised. So first off, I want to apologize. As I said in my intro video for the week, there was a lot of stuff that happened last week behind the scenes that prevented a lot of things. So in this video, I am going to talk about a little bit of the road so far and the road to come. But I'm also going to talk about the portfolio, which is the primary purpose of this video. So I'm going to start this first part by talking about the road so far. So plain and simple, if you are in this class, which you are, but if you're in this class, the reason is you've taken all the other coursework for criminal justice here at EC3 and you are on track to graduate. And so it's important to note that you've done a lot. You've done a lot of work. You've had a lot of classwork. You've turned in assignments. You've had different teachers, and yeah, you've done a lot. And it's important to note that you've done a decent amount. And so I want to emphasize that while there is a quote unquote lot of writing for this class, it really isn't that much because you've done a lot of it already. There's just a couple smaller pieces that are coming now. And the goal is to get you ready for the road to come, which is your career. So I want to emphasize for everyone, you bring a unique background and stance to this class that no student has before. Every semester, this is a truth. This is a 100% truth. You bring something unique that nobody else has brought. Because what brought you here, your past, is unlike anyone else's. Whether you came here to EC3 as a traditional 18-year-old high school student, or you came back as an adult coming back to get an education, or you already had an education and you're trying something new, all those things matter. Your past matters. And so I do not want to belittle the impact that your background has. So I want you seriously to think about, and this is what I should have done in week one, and I apologize for not, but I want you to think about all the things that have led to you being here now. What things in your life led you to coming back to school or coming to school for the first time? And what made you choose criminal justice? What made you go into this particular pathway? Because if you're taking this class, it means that you're kind of interested in criminal justice. At the very least, you're going to end with a degree in criminal justice, which is the road to come. And that, I will tell you right now, that is the purpose of the capstone class, is to say, look at what you've done, now where are you going? Because the reality is, regardless of school, whether it's EC3, whether it's Mercyhurst University, Gannon University, Penn State, Penn West, Penn State Behrend, Penn State Maine, whether you go to Harvard, Yale, it doesn't matter if you're going on for school, if you're going into a career. But the reality is, you are at the end of this journey. You're the end of this part of the journey. You've made it. This should be the easiest class. There's no reason you shouldn't get an A in this class. But it's important to note that now we're looking at next steps. Now we're looking at what are you going to do. And so I'm sure you've heard this question from other people before in your life. And it's probably annoying because I know it was annoying for me to hear. But what do you want to do with your life? What do you want to do when you graduate? What do you want to be when you grow up? I know it sounds silly and dumb to say it that way, but it's true. I asked this question of my 69-year-old mother, and I'm not joking. She's 69. No, she's 70 this year. Holy crap. She's 69 for another month and a half. But my mother will even tell you, and she's going on 70, I don't know what I want to be when I grow up. She's 70 and she doesn't know what she wants to be. So it's okay to not have that answer directly. But what is important is that this class is helping you think about that next step. And so this is where I'm going to tell you, for better or worse, whether you go into criminal justice or not, you need to start thinking about your next step. Are you going to go for more schooling? Are you going to go for specific training or certificates and certification? Or are you just going out to work? So the big task for this class, the big deal behind Capstone, is the Capstone project, which in itself is a portfolio. And that's where I say, hey, week 2, developing a portfolio, guideline specifics, what is a portfolio, gathering evidence, and general design. This is where I tell you, the portfolio for our purposes here, you and me, the purpose is for you to start gathering all the pieces you need to move successfully towards your chosen career path when you're done, when you graduate. The project is just as much for me to see how much you've done as it is for you to get ready for that next step. Okay? So when we go over the portfolio guidelines and things like that, I want you to consider the biggest question that you need to have ready. And I mean that like at the end of week 3, you need to have an idea of what your next step is going to be. What job, what career, what schooling, what is it that's next for you? Okay? So very specifically, the portfolio will act as your roadmap for when you graduate EC3. It's a gift from us that goes with your degree and your knowledge that you've earned. It's something that you make, but it's also you telling yourself that you can do it because you've done it so far. All right? And so for that, I'm moving away from the syllabus. And it is under course-specific content, by the way, but it's also under week 2, portfolio assignment sheet. And so this is the big. This is the thing. So as I said, the portfolio is just as much for me as your instructor as it is a tool for you to use. As an assignment, it is the final collection of your work and proof to your professor, me, and the school that you have earned the necessary knowledge from the program that you will be able to succeed and thrive after graduation. No school should want to just send their students out after graduation and say, good luck. No, we want to make sure you're ready for that. And so that's what this is. For at least for me and for the criminal justice program, the portfolio is a sign that you're ready. If you took internship, that would also prove to me that you're ready. But for you, the student, this portfolio is going to act as a quick reference collection and guide for you as you graduate from EC3 and make your way into your career. To ensure that the portfolio can achieve both goals, you're going to need some things. And so this is where I tell you, you're going to need to gather important information about your future career and begin preparing for your life after graduation. This is where I say I know most of my students in criminal justice already have lives and careers and things like that. I know that. But if you're taking this degree and trying to do something else with it, trying to do something different than what you already have, you need to think about how that's going to look. So, I'm going to tell you right now some things that you will want to have in your portfolio for you after graduation. Not just for me, but for you. Is you're going to want things like your academic transcripts. So any school, any college that you went to and took classes with, you're going to want a transcript from them that shows, hey, look at the college classes I took. You're going to want a resume. Depending on the particular field, you might need a CV, but most places want a resume. A CV is a curriculum vitae. It's a similar thing as a resume. It's a whole weird thing, but for the most part, criminal justice likes the resume. You're going to want a list of references that you can use during the application process. Guess what? As your professor, Mr. Wheaton, I can be a reference for you as an instructor who had you. Like, that is a legitimate option, but you're going to want to think about other people as well. People that can be personal references, work references, all of that stuff. Those are important to have, especially in criminal justice, because the next piece, this is the big one. The list of clearances. Depending on the career you go into in criminal justice, you will need clearances. Most of them are standard background clearances, but some of them require more specific things. Some require fingerprinting, some require criminal background checks, some require a lot of different things. So depending on your career you want to go into, you might need clearances. And if that's the case, you can start gathering that stuff so when you are ready to apply, you have them real quick in one spot that you can pull from. Any special certifications and tests that you may have for your career, I emphasize in particular with corrections. If you want to go into a technical program within the correctional facility like IT or something, having an IT certificate or certificate in a certain type of training or HVAC or something and a degree in criminal justice would be like, hey, you are the perfect person we want for that role here in the prison. So like those certificates, that's excellent. You want to include those things. Something I encourage you to have, because it's not just for me, but it also works for you as a potential starter for a cover letter for some jobs. So a self-reflective essay about your experience at EC3 and how you plan to move forward into your chosen career path. Like, that's for me personally to see that you're ready and you have the knowledge base, but you can also take that and turn it into a cover letter. Like, it's really cool. You also will want a realistic set of goals and a plan on how to achieve those goals. Because this is where I will also tell you, I'm not sugarcoating it. The reality is, depending on what you want to go into, you might not be able to go into it for another 5-10 years. Some of the things that you might want to go into might require more school, more education. Others might just require you to spend 2 years probation working on something before you can go into the actual chosen field. So the realistic goal setting, that's an important benchmark for you, because then as life happens outside of school, you can look back at this and go, okay, this was 2025 when I said this. It's 5 years later. My goal for 5 years, have I achieved that? So it's a really good way to keep yourself honest after graduation. And then any other necessary documents that you can quickly and efficiently access going forward. If you're planning on going to another institution, a four-year institution or things like that, if you wrote a really exceptional essay or something in a class, you might want that if they want a sample of your writing, that kind of stuff. So the assignment itself is worth 200 points, 50 points for the mid-semester check-in, which we'll talk about later, 150 points for the final portfolio. And that mid-semester check is around week 5. It's not week 4, so don't worry. It will be graded as following: 50 points for structure, formatting, grammar, and spelling, and 100 points for the content. 25 points for your reflective essay, 25 points for your goals and plan, 25 points for your interview reflection, which we'll talk about in a second, and 25 points for resume references, education, and clearances. So if you have all the content, you get the 100 points for content for the portfolio. That's why I said this class is not a challenging class. It is a matter of gathering the stuff that you have and starting to look towards that future. And so this is where I will definitely tell you, reflective essay, that's what I mentioned up here. Where is it? There. A self-reflective essay about your experience at EC3. That's the self-reflective essay that's worth 25 points. Your goals and plan, 25 points. Your resume references, 25 points. The interview reflection. The interview reflection is due in week 7 of the class. I'm telling you this now. After you've picked a chosen career path, you'll need to tell me, we'll talk it through, and then you, at one point throughout the semester, you are going to reach out and try to interview somebody in your chosen field. I will try to help you as best as I can to find somebody directly in the field, if not somebody adjacent to the career field you want to go into. So That is the interview reflection. You will interview them, and then you will write a brief, like 2-page reflection on the conversation you had and how that impacts your career choice. That is the assignment sheet. I want to emphasize the portfolio itself is a fairly straightforward document. By all means, I know this is the first time I'm really talking about it and the first time I'm going over it, and I'm providing this information to you. So please hear me when I say, if you have questions about this, about what you need, and you're not sure after looking at the information that I gave you on Blackboard, that's okay. Email me. Don't be afraid to email. Don't be afraid to ask. I will do my very best to give you as much information as I can, because I don't want you to be confused. I don't want you to be trying to figure it out. I want to help you as much as I can. I obviously can't do it for you. I can't do your assignment, but I do want you to try and work through this. And I'm available pretty much as frequently as I can. I'll tell you this right now. I teach a Tuesday, Thursday morning class, but after 2 p.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I'm free. Every other day of the week, I just have occasional meetings and things like that. So please, don't be afraid to email me. We can meet in person. We can meet virtually through Blackboard or Teams or Zoom or whatever. We can do any of that, please. But that's it. That is what I have for you today, this week, all that. Like I said, next week we will I'll go more into some of the other details as I did earlier with the syllabus and I showed you. Week 3 is research in criminal justice. We're going to talk about that, but really what we're going to focus on is finding the job that you want, finding exactly where you're going to go. And so, yeah, week 4 will be career pathways, and we'll be getting deeper and deeper, and you should just be working on gathering your artifacts. And I guess I should specify that before I let go. Gathering of evidence, artifacts. It's just the fancy term we use for evidence. It's all those things. It's your resume, it's your references. Those are artifacts. It's just the objects that you will have quick reference to. All right, I've rambled enough. If you've had me in other classes, you know I tend to be long-winded and talk, so I don't want to be that for this. So watch through this, read through the documents. If you have questions, email me. We can set up a time to meet, or I can just respond in an email. And I will see you specifically in the next video where you're going to be forced to see my face. I promise.